According to Yogacara Buddhism, there is nothing that exists outside of the heart. Eighth consciousness is another name for the heart, which is m-theory. Every being each has an eighth consciousness, and within each eighth consciousness there are infinitely many seeds, which are strings in string theory. The entire universe is the manifestation of eighth consciousness, with the seeds in it, when it lays out spaces. These spaces are visual functions and image functions, and also what seems to be an internal body, and what seems to be an external world and entire universe to the body. All these are manifestations of eighth consciousness during its transformation, hence nothing exists outside of the heart. In the previous episode, it was mentioned that visual and image functions are brains and open strings on brains, and ADS, CFT correspondence are body and external to body. All these are manifestations of m-theory, which is eighth consciousness. All these happens in the confines of the heart, or eighth consciousness, or m-theory. Note that physics actually happens on the brains, which are in extra dimensions, or superspace, and not in the three-dimensional world. This is how everything is created by the mind. Metaphorically, it is like a metaverse of computer, data, network, and gears. Everything happens outside of the three-dimensional space. All those in the three-dimensional space does not exist and are just illusion. Nobel laureate David Gross said, "We don't live in ordinary space-time, but in superspace. How each being can experience the entire universe is through co-creation." Yogacara Buddhism has detailed co-creation theory, which idealism needs, else it has to be dualism. We will look at the 4 quadrants of co-creation, where deeper concepts like Indra's net and 22 faculties will be covered later. To Anne, all that exists are in the pink quadrant, which is Anne's mental world, whereas the same is true for Bob. All that exists for Bob are in the light blue quadrant, which is Bob's mental world. All things in grey areas, which are co-created with infinitely many other conscious beings, where in reality they do not exist. To Anne, the physical things in the top left quadrant is what Anne shares with others. The bottom left are physical things Anne can share with others, but her own property, where she enjoys most. These 2 left quadrants belong to the CFT side of the ADS, CFT correspondence, or what Yogacara Buddhism calls the external world. The top right quadrant is Anne's physical body, which is Anne's own, but Anne needs to co-create with infinitely many others. The bottom right quadrant is Anne's mental world. These 2 right quadrants belong to the ADS side of the ADS CFT correspondence. Note that relative to Anne, Bob's physical body falls under the top left quadrant. The reverse is true for Bob. Let's go through a few examples. Example 1. Anne and Bob took a flight to London. They thought they were taking the same plane, but reality is, there is no plane. The plane was co-created by Anne's and Bob's eighth consciousness, or m-theory. If there were 200 passengers on the same flight, all 200 passengers' eighth consciousness, or m-theory, are also co-creating the plane. If there were pets being transported during the same flight, these pets' eighth consciousness and m-theory were also co-creating the plane. Example 2. Anne's eighth consciousness, or m-theory, created the classroom and all objects in it when Anne entered. When Bob entered, Bob's eighth consciousness, or m-theory, depended on Anne's eighth consciousness, or m-theory, in co-creating the classroom and the objects inside. The same is true for all who entered the classroom later. Is the moon there when no one looks? Was the famous hard question by Einstein. This question cannot be answered by science, even with the deepest theories of quantum mechanics and general relativity. But Yogacara Buddhism provided the structural theory in explaining Einstein's question 1,600 years ago. This theory shows up now in string theory as m-theory and strings. Yes, the moon is not there when no one looks, as all are co-created illusion.